We are usually asked by clients to introduce the topic of RPA and bring it to life for them. So what is the value proposition in them adopting a new technology? In which case we will probably enter the discussion with an agnostic view of tools, help them understand what the differences are between tools and capabilities, and then come to synthesize a business case for adoption of those tools. Valuable features from RPA in general is the ability to actually emulate human behavior and transactions. Automation Anywhere specifically, it's the ease of use that it has as a platform and the ability of individuals to actually learn relatively fast, so a very accelerated learning curve on the platform. I think it's actually growing. It's still in development. It's an idea in development in my mind. I think there is definitely repurposability of bots that are being made available in the store, but it's not by any means, in my mind at least, something that you would actually take and put into production without actually making it use case specific to your organization. Front office automation, I haven't actually been part of those discussions, but I know as an organization we definitely assist with front office automation. I would say the principles that actually dictate what you do in front office govern the ideas as well as the way we bring this to life in the middle as well as the back office for us. The perfect example that I have is where we were able to address an audit finding for a client. They had a situation where they had to show a tangible and very scalable, I would say, solution to internal audit as part of a finding that they had in the payroll area. And what we did for them in that situation is we created a database that worked alongside Automation Anywhere to conduct the validation and checks that were required to appease and provide comfort to the internal audit while accomplishing savings in the form of error omissions. Processes within the finance, accounts payable, accounts receivable, invoicing, validation, HR, where we did payroll, onboarding, candidate screening, and IT from a provisioning perspective. ROI often enough is associated with FTE, full-time employees, but we are now increasingly finding that the ROI could actually be had in different ways. So it's not just cost elimination, it could be cost avoidance or revenue acceleration. So the ROI actually differs by use case, but in most situations we're able to accomplish sufficient ROI to justify scaling the solution. I would say on average, the return that I've seen is about $3 to $1 spent on RPA. Time-wise, I would say you're still bound to the pace of the systems that you are applying RPA to, so you're not getting an acceleration to the systems themselves, but you do get the ability to process transactions in those systems faster because a bot tends to transact things a little faster than we do. I think the tool has actually come a long way. We've had situations where it wasn't working well with Java in the past and Citrix environments and so forth. But I think as we get every new release is better than the last one. They are listening to the customer and they definitely integrate very fast the solutions to their product. I think it's a very scalable application as well, but I think the scalability is not just tied to the technology itself, it's also the organizational appetite to go fast and go the right way forward. A huge component of that is the talent, and I think Automation Anywhere, having the internal consultants that they make available to clients on occasion, it does accelerate the adoption. From a pilot to scale, I would say the couple of clients that I've actually worked with took them about 6 months to a year to get to what we would consider a repurchase point. And I'm not sure that I would call it necessarily scale. The model that we bring forward to clients, at least in the past, was one where we actually teach them how to fish versus do the fishing for them. So we're not necessarily there to see them all the way through scale, we're there to see them through stability. I think they are very responsive and probably one of the differentiators that Automation Anywhere has in comparison to some of their peers. The initial setup at times has been a little undefined in terms of requirements just because people don't know the process nor what they're going to need as a result of putting something into production. But again, I think those were growing pains that we experienced probably 2-3 years ago versus what we experience today. The IQ bot is actually a tremendous product. The more we can make the IQ bot intuitive as an application and start connecting it to real life examples, I think the more value it's going to bring to our clients. I had other platforms that we did the proof of concepts that didn't go anywhere. And I think part of the reason why they didn't go anywhere because they were not scalable. I've seen the price vary by opportunity cost, in essence, for Automation Anywhere. If they think that the client is actually going to scale and adopt the tool, I don't want to necessarily give numbers, but there is variability based on how quickly and how substantially you want to invest in it. Human training area is still something that it's to be improved, and I think it's not so much the actual technology learning, is how do you bring this to life with all the peripheral competencies that are needed for it. So, incorporating some of the Lean Six Sigma type of principles in the thinking around process optimization, as well as the change management, that would make it a much more, I would say, comprehensive solution than what it is today. I would rate it a 9. I would say don't lead with the tool selection, lead with the process optimization, and then understand fully what the tools actually have as an offering, and make sure that the way that the tool is deploying its learning is aligned to your organizational capabilities.